Good afternoon. It is the 30th of October 2019, and in this episode we're going to talk about the 2 sure signs that will tell us when the altcoin winter is finally over. And I don't think we're going to see those in the episode today, but we're going to look at what we're going to expect to see when those actually come up. Let's jump in. I'm going to have a little intro animation here and a little bit of a song to go along with this part of the episode as we talk about what's coming up in this episode. Now we'll move into our disclaimer because this isn't trading advice. Even though we're going over specific things in the markets and on, there's too many other things to go into actual trading. So this is all just my opinion, but my opinion is we just broke the uptrend line in that RSI that we were looking for, and there is our bearish flag, and that's not looking good for the price of ADA to go up. In fact, it looks like it may be coming down. Here's another one that's broken that trend line. That's a nice little pump up there, kind of weakening off at the end. We got some exhaustion wicks on Bitcoin Cash. Not quite the same here, but there's a bit of a divergence in EOS at the same time frame for the 4-hour MACD. Here's another one, another pullback off of this flag, break of that RSI, and I don't know how far down it's going to go, of course, but we have been watching for the last few days for this RSI to break one way or the other to give us a signal as to which way this might be going in the altcoins. And you can see Bitcoin in the background. It's not sloughing off. It's not taking it easy. It's starting to do things. And here we see TRX is pulled back sharply on some good news. They published some good news and immediately it pulled back. Ripple is also pulled back just a little bit. The RSI has broken here. Now the next thing I want to blast through quickly just for my own curiosity is here. The MACD indicator. Let me grab the circling there. Here, the MACD indicator is almost crossing to the negative on the 4-hour time frame. The Bitcoin Cash, almost the same thing. Whoops, we already have it in EOS. It's already crossed over to the negative out of that flag. Here's another one almost crossing to the negative. So we've got some very specific things happening in these charts that we've been watching for. So I'm just blasting through these real quick just to see what the correlation is from all of these markets. What are they doing compared to each other? And then we can go back and we can do a little bit more detailed analysis and check out some different timescales. Hey, M. Babs, good to have you along. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate having you guys here. So the purpose of this live stream is, one second. It's really to document these coins that are tradable on BitMEX so that we can decide if we want to take a long or a short on these. And so if we go now back to the relative strength index, I'm going to clear this off and start zooming in more closely because I'm anticipating that this break means that prices are going to be coming back. But I'm still not going short because of where we are in the overall downtrend. We're at these historical lows and making just this little wee blip. I don't want to overanalyze it or overtrade it rather, but I just want to observe it. And so the things in the episode that I want to talk about, the main 2 things that we're going to look for the end of altcoin season, the end of altcoin winter, is this Bitcoin dominance coming down. So we've got this flag formation here right now, and it could mean that dominance is contracting and it's going to be springing back up higher. And if it does, then this is the measure of the alts getting crushed by Bitcoin. If it breaks down below these levels and continues down as the altcoins are breaking out of their bottom formations, this is going to give us confirmation that the bull market is starting, and especially once we get back down below these levels, it'll be a really good confirmation. But there's going to be a generation of coins that take off before the others. Of course, you know they don't all go at the same time. Some of the coins are better than others. Some are copycats and they really don't have a lot of support in the market, so they're just not going to take off. Some are low market cap and they'll blast off faster than others just because it takes very little money to move them. And we're trying to track all of that over in the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, where we go through every coin on Binance and Poloniex every day, and we map out their bullishness or bearishness. And you can see here that overall the bullishness has eased off in both exchanges, and the bearishness has been climbing up a little bit here. So even though I believe that the altcoin winter will be over soon, there's a lot more sideways and potential down to go right now, especially as we're watching these indicators do this. Let's zoom into the closer time frame to see what's going on, because I'm looking for rejection of the bear, right? I'm looking for the bull. I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance to be dropping, Bitcoin price to be rising, and altcoin price to be rising at the same time. That would tell me that the world economy is pumping money into the cryptocurrencies, like money into Bitcoin, and from Bitcoin into the cryptos. And I know it's going to happen because the people who are investing this are interested in profit just as much as the rest of us are. And as these bottom formations start to turn around, there's huge opportunities. Money's going to pour into these. And so here we are looking at the 1 hour time frame, the relative strength index, and trying to look for support here. That now we have, let me clear this off, we have an internal 1, 2, 3 top formation here. 1, 2, 3, it's small time frame, and it broke this trend line and it's broke down below it. So now prices are coming up underneath that 1, 2, 3, which is actually a very good sell signal for a short, small trade if this is breaking lower. So if this continues to break lower below these levels, and here we've got a sell signal, and it'll probably coordinate with Bitcoin taking off and going up. Let's go into BCH ABC. I got to go back and find the chat. We got a few people joining in. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you find this analysis useful in your daily trading, and I would love to hear your success stories and your questions as well. And once we get to Bollinger Bands, I'm not really interested in your questions so much as your tips on what you do with Bollinger Bands. Now looking at BCH, I'm seeing like a bullish setup here, and even though it might pull back a bit from where it is, overall this is much more bullish to me than ADA. ADA is sort of midline, and you know what? BCH last week was poo-hoo. It was down below these midlines, but now that it's caught itself back up here and we have these ascending bottoms on the relative strength index, that's a bullish divergence, and I just got to go with it. Now I'm going to go to, I guess I'm out of order here, eh? I want to go into ADA in the unbalanced volume just to see if we are getting bigger dumping going on here. Then we already did ADA in the MACD indicator on the 4-hour time frame. It has crossed to the negative, and so on the 12-hour time frame here as well. Oh, that's a little cross to the positive. And the histogram is turned to the positive here on the 12-hour. All right, but the 12-hour candle isn't closed. In fact, I'm paying attention to this now, 4 hours till that candle closes. So we'll see what happens by the end of that 4 hours. But here on the 4-hour time frame, oh, it's a brand new candle. We've got another 4 hours for this one to go down. The 1 hour is already crossed to the negative. We have a cross to the negative here, and then another cross to the negative on this top formation. And they were diverging. We saw this yesterday. This was a divergence setting up. And we also pointed out this parallel channel, that a break below that would be important. Sure enough, all of these things actually manifested. We could see this break below these levels, the crossover of the MACD indicator. Love it to see that we can speak it out beforehand. What will happen with the indicators if the price does this, that, and the other thing. And then when it does it, it's really verifying so that you're practicing learning how to imagine the right-hand side of the chart off of reading the left-hand side. And I know that there is potential for unlimited earning. I'm going to go back to that. Unlimited earning when you are trading correctly, because it's just percentages and it just keeps increasing based on the size of your trades. Very good. Nice to see the 1, 2, 3 top formation, but on this time frame, the 15-minute, it's down below the cloud. If I zoom out to the 1 hour time frame, it could be a buy signal in the uptrend in the way that it's set up here, but the The blue line has to cross above the red line for that to manifest. And right now we have a twist to the negative in the cloud too. Decentradical. Really would like a vet BTC analysis now. Binance just added margin trading for VeChain right now against Bitcoin swings, like playing Russian roulette with 5 bullets in the chamber. Cryptos are pretty crazy, so small positions and longer time frames is the best idea. Let me continue on, and I will definitely get to vet. I want to just do this in this order so that we can research it again later from the future. Pardon me. Now, ADA, you're giving me some ideas on the Bollinger Bands, and as we move in to ADA on the Bollinger Bands, this 4-hour skewer was way outside of the band. Just observing that it really got way outside of the band here. And of course, if you had purchased there and sold out at the top of this band, you'd be doing pretty. So I'm watching these different signals. But now I'm also looking for the 1, 2, 3 formation. So we did have a small 1, 2, 3 formation that built up inside this. So it gives me some more juice that I can sink my teeth into. We're into a bigger 1, 2, 3 formation. If we do come back up above these levels and we hang out above this midline in the 4-hour Bollinger Bands, that'll be pretty good. The 1-hour time frame, however, we've already did a 1, 2, 3 top and we've come below that. So I'm just taking a look at this for my future self to come back and look and get some ideas. So far, I don't see these bands narrowing down real nice here on ADA. Now I'm going to go back to BCH ABC. We've already looked at the relative strength index. So let's go on to the volume and see if there's anything good in that. Wow. That sure jumped out from a shitty volume all the way along to some really nice strong stuff, pulled back to selling and right off again. So this was a tough one. I'm going to see if the Bollinger Bands are going to give me more details, because it's more of a swing trade entry than a trend trader's entry. The trend trader is waiting for things to change and actually show that it's going directions. The swing trader is waiting for it to come back. When it comes back here again, I'm going to buy. When it comes back here, I'm going to buy. Just because it's shown support so many times, it's likely that it's going to go up from those levels. And I don't do the swing trading as much. So I'm just observing the difference between those two, because that is a really nice step up in volume going on right there. Is it a buy signal right now at this moment? Well, no, because it's already made such a move, it increases your risk. It increases your risk of it pulling back sharply, since it's already done that move. So for me, I would have to now wait for it to consolidate into something of a point, somehow into a pointed formation somehow. If it did an ascending wedge, that would be awesome. Then it comes to a moment that you can decide. So that volume was surprising to me. Oh, well, this is the same chart, BCH, because look at this cross to the negative and this cross to the negative as we're coming to these two higher highs. So that is a negative divergence of pullbackness from this formation. So if I give this a parallel channel and we look for the 1, 2, 3 top formation inside the parallel channel, stop parallel channels. Let's see here. Trying to drag a parallel channel beyond the page is always a pain. Go back to auto. Now we can see where it's running into this parallel channel or running out of it. And so I'm always watching for 1, 2, 3 tops inside whatever parallel channel we're in, or a 1, 2, 3 bottom at the end of a parallel channel that we're in. So if it's breaking out downward from this, it's an exit signal. If it runs up along this, we come into a very good buy signal potential. But since we have negative divergence that we didn't see, what's this, the 1 hour? Really didn't see this kind of negative divergence in the relative strength index. And I have to go back and look. Relative strength index. Up very nicely. In the 1 hour time frame, okay, we do have that divergence. So we have the higher highs and we have the lower highs in the RSI. We are making that potential 1, 2, 3 top formation. Well. I didn't see it the first time we went by it there. This caught my eye big time though, especially since we're watching all of them at the very beginning to see what's going on with the 4 hour EMA crossover. Out of this blast up, that's just observation. Let's see what it does in the next couple days out of this. Is this a continuation consolidation like this one was? Right, we had a nice continuation consolidation. Is that what this is? And it's going to step up again because we're seeing a few of them, so I don't want to start doubting them. But each time this pulled back, okay. Now this pulled back and then it did the bamboo effect, I'll call it. And if you know a name of what I should be calling this, let me know. Because there's no way I'm coming up with a new pattern that nobody else has found before. We all look at these charts. And this pattern, this stair-stepping pattern looks phenomenal. So at first it looked like a negative divergence and a top formation. Now I like it. I'm super pumped on that. And I wasn't expecting to be. I like when that happens. Now the 12-hour time frame for the Ichimoku cloud is already a breakout. The 4-hour time frame is a breakout and it's doing well. The further apart the red and the blue line are, it's sort of like the oversold and overbought indicator. They like to be close together. So when they're far apart, they like to come back to close together. No matter how, whenever they're farthest apart, they're probably coming back together closer. Just as one of those oscillators to pay attention to. Now I had a question about Bitcoin Cash in the Bollinger Bands, especially right here. And wouldn't you know it? So it is backing up the swing traders entry with some more concrete measurables right up against this 4-hour band on just the general settings on the 4-hour time frame. So if it's coordinating and touching the band while it's coming up with a swing trade against technical levels, I'm going to pay more attention to that. Now I don't know what it's going to do at the top. Let's zoom in. It's already crossed the midline. These are weird intestine-shaped bands. I don't know. And it took me a second to start looking again to see this pattern. Are we getting those stair steps where we're going to get another big candle up, or is this the stair step for the candle down? With the MACD indicator, it tells me it's a stair step up from here. But there's a few others that are not helping out with that. So wow, that's awesome. I love it. Let's go to EOS and see if we can go through this a bit quicker. Here we saw the RSI break at the same time that we had this potential top formation here. And then we go to the on-balance volume for this time frame. Lots of dumping, not a lot of buying. So this one is not shaping up to a buy signal. Like Bitcoin Cash is better than this, and that's a surprise to me. I wasn't paying attention to Bitcoin Cash. Now on the 15-minute time frame, how did I get in here so fast? 12-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame crossing to the negative here. 1-hour time frame holding its own, so we see the cross to the negative, but it's almost crossing back to the positive here on the 1-hour time frame. And then in the 15-minute time frame, it has crossed to the positive twice there and giving us a bit of a bowl shape. I don't know if this is enough to hold this whole thing up, because if this crosses back to the negative, there's just nothing to sink teeth into for this one. It's just more observation. Just do this quickly. EOS on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. On the 1-hour time frame, even here, it's not bullish. The blue line is below the red line. It could be a buy signal in the uptrend on the Ichimoku but the blue has got to cross back up above the red. Got to. Let's go to the Bollinger Bands. EOS. Pulling down into the 1-hour time frame. I want to see the 4-hour time frame because earlier it did get onto the 4 hour. It's crossed back to the negative. 88 is going below 400. Tempting. I gotta stay on. Stay on point. All right, so yesterday we were talking about Ethereum breaking these levels, and there it is. Broke those levels and it's coming down. Now I want to see the volume to go along with Ethereum. There's the selling volume, and heavy selling volume right after this top point here. We could see the selling coming in as we made the 1, 2, 3 top formation, broke up, came up to touch it again. So there's your sell signal in the Ichimoku cloud downtrend. Lots of selling volume, still into a pretty heavy selling volume state here. Let's go into Ethereum MACD indicator. We had already seen the 4 hour time frame is just coming to cross, but hasn't yet. The 1 hour time frame is crossed at this top, right off this ledge. The 1 hour time frame crossed. And as we zoom in, it is crossed to the positive a little bit, but that is not looking positive right now. It is looking like it's going to be slipping lower because this is crossed to the negative. The 4 hours coming up to the negative. This is looking like it's heading down. Let's go to Ethereum on the Ichimoku cloud. Now here, it's coming into touch against the cloud in the 1 hour time frame. It could consolidate and go back up. The 4 hour time frame is looking not bad, but it is a sell signal in the downtrend because it's come below the cloud. So no buy signal here. It does look like it's pulling back more. So alt season is not quite on the doorstep, but it's going to come fast when it does. It's not going to be a slow turnaround now that we've been in this downtrend for this amount of time. So I did look at Ethereum. Here it is breaking lower from these big skewers and continuing what is affectionately known from Crypto Sniper, known as the pissing off the roof formation. And it's usually after a failed 1, 2, 3 top formation, break of that trend line, and then down she goes with momentum. And I think it's going to, especially if Bitcoin is taking off. And what is Bitcoin dominance doing? Giving us just the littlest bit of strength since we looked at it earlier in the episode. Let's finish off these last couple coins and then we'll take requests and let's see what's going on. Now, we've been watching for this to break. It has broken, and now we're watching this level, trying with hopium to see that this is going to hold here and go higher. I'm not looking for a short in this for the same reason as many of the alts, because they are at historical lows. And so I'm waiting for them to build that turnaround structure so that I can be looking at long positions here. So as we zoom in on this, we've been watching for a break of this trend line, a break of this trend line, and we'll continue watching. As we zoom into this and zoom in again, we can see how this is pulled back, but it is holding its own. Continue to watch. No signal though. If we go into Litecoin volume, really big dumping going on here. It's really took a good kick in the stomach there. That's biggest dumping we've had since way back in some major panic here. So maybe that is our capitulation low. And just for a quick reminder, the capitulation low looks like this. The classic capitulation is a parabolic move down with panic at the end, and then it bounces up, and then it comes and it consolidates before having a change of, or a deciding on direction again from here. So it'll make this triangle, and then we've got to wait for seeing what's it going to do next. But usually, not usually, this is a classic pattern for post-capitulation, after the capitulation. So if we have seen it already, maybe that's what we're now watching unfold. Let me clear this. This being our long, slow move down, this is the capitulation. Now we're consolidating where we can have some decisions made. Let's go into Litecoin on the MACD. It is almost crossing to the negative on the 4 hour, but not quite. On On the 1 hour time frame, it's already crossed to the negative 3 different times, but it does appear to be almost catching itself right here. It caught itself here, it's catching itself here. Those are really good, important levels that it holds itself while we have higher highs and this is even. That's actually quite bullish if it does turn and hold itself from here. Like, that's awesome. Love to have observed it. Let's go into Litecoin on the 4 hour time frame. Not really looking great yet. It's got to move up above this in stage before we're feeling like it. Here with the 1 hour time frame, it is starting to move up above the cloud. It's got some hesitation. It's not ready to blast right off yet. So even though I expect altcoin winter will be ending soon and it'll end fast, it may not be immediately. But look at this building up here. This 1, 2, 3 formation building up. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 2, 3 building up. So we've only got the 1, the 2, and potentially the 3. If the prices do break up above this level, then it proves that this indeed was the number 3 and the number 2, because we've had the breakout above. And I really, it's looking great. What time frame is this? 5 minutes. Let's go to the 4 hour and clear this off. So again, here's an example on the 26th where after this big dump and everything's come down and Panicville is in the zone, we're right at the 4 hour band outside edge. Now moving into the 1 hour time frame, I don't know if I could be doing things on the outside edges of the band here. They're legit. They would work. I don't know if I could work them. But I'm watching now, of course, for the 1, 2, 3 formations to set up and for the trend to change direction. Nothing really new for me here that I can pull out of it. Litecoin, wow, Tron. Tron has really done a pullback. Look at that. How deep is this going to pull back? Very interesting question. I wasn't expecting that this would pull back quite as much as it did. Let's clear that off. Zoom into the 4 hour time frame. I'm not sure if yesterday we pointed out this divergence in the RSI here on the 12 hour time frame. It's pretty strong. You know, that's pretty clear. I certainly must have looked at this divergence as this was setting up yesterday. It's inescapable. That's a very strong looking divergence. And then prices pull back. So when we start to see divergences like this, as we're coming up to this kind of pattern, it's action time. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to get these patterns and just know that there's an action time there and start to get prepared, start to get ready, start to plan it out. The volume going up into it would have made me difficult to be getting out of that trade for sure, because I'm more of a trend trading entrepreneur. If I could have got in here, or even if I could have got in here and not get stopped out, I would prefer to have my stop back this far from a coin that is up like this. So I would give up almost all of my profit for the chance of staying in through a retest of these levels and then going higher. And I don't want to jump in and out and in and out. I want to just hold on to my position. If I'm in at the right place, then it gets to be easier to do that. So let's look at TRX. It had already crossed over on the 4 hour. It was getting near. On the 1 hour, we crossed to the negative twice on this top formation. So this is another thing we were looking for specifically yesterday, and here it is manifesting in our charts today. Go back and check out the video from yesterday as we're going through this and following this from day to day. It really is nailing down specifics, and I would love to have more people joining us on this. That would be awesome. Give the video a thumbs up if you find this awesome. If you think that if you were here the other day and you saw these forecasts and you saw us talking about what was going on in this chart, hit the thumbs up. Help me get the word out. Help me build the channel. So TRX, top formation, what is this? The 1 hour. Here in the 4 hours, see, this is where I run into trouble with the Bollinger Bands. You can point in the history to buy, sell, where it's great, of course. But as it's staying up along these levels, this for me is like sell. where here maybe it's good to buy and then be getting out of it here might be wise, but how do you know when you should be getting out? Because when it gets along the side, it seems to stay there for a while before breaking back along. So now we've crossed midline and pulling back. Let's head over to Ripple to finish up this sequence, because it also is one that we marked out yesterday and we're pointing out this double top. Let's go into the volume and see what's going on with Ripple's volume. Wow, quite a bunch of selling. And Tron was so different. Look at the buying going on in Tron. Even though it's moved back a bit, the selling isn't nearly as big. This was a lot of selling. I was surprised. And let's go to Ripple. Of course, on this 1 hour time frame, it is crossed to the negative already. And it could be the, what do you call that, wobble effect, the oscillating effect, where this has come back and it may go forward and come back and go forward all the way up. We'll see. Let's go out to the 4 hour time frame on this. It did cross to the positive. All of them did. And now it's pulling back, but hasn't yet fully crossed to the negative. So again, should this 1 hour cross to the positive as we're going up above these levels, we're going to continue going up. Should it start to flare wider as we're breaking down below these levels, you know it, we are going down. Ripple on the Ichimoku cloud. This is the 1 hour time frame. Here is the 4 hour time frame, still looking pretty negative. It's got some work to do to get out of there for the 4 hour time frame. It's poking just above on the 1 hour time frame. So should the blue stay above the red, and it isn't now, that would be good, but again, it's got to stage above these levels. Let's go into Ripple for the Bollinger Bands, starting off at the 12 hour time frame. Just wide bands. Wow, crazy. 4 hour time frame. Again, I couldn't just trade because it's outside the band and dropping like crazy. 1, 2, 3, shaping up. So it's giving me some specifics where I can be setting up my own trading plan in Ripple. Pulling back. Tiny little 1, 2, 3 formation here. The other indicators are giving more detail about what's underneath this. Bollinger Bands doesn't give those divergences. It really just gets down to that moment. And so when everything else is giving the chart pattern and the divergences, then I think the Bollinger Bands can be added in to specific trade patterns. So I'm starting to get some pictures in my mind of the chart patterns that this would match with for my own part, so that I'm mixing together the 1, 2, 3 formations along with Bollinger Bands, and I want to filter the trade so that I'm getting in at a place that I normally wouldn't have gotten into the trade. Boom, boom. Let's go take a look at, scroll back up, and we're looking to go and take a look at VET to start off with. Boom, boom, boom. Let me grab my coffee. Fresh coffee, the nectar of the gods. VET. It is a double bottom. It's given some pre-pump candles. At this stage of a bottom, I would call these pre-pump candles, especially if there's news of some new partnership that is just getting out there and we're looking at the last 2 or 3 days of data. It certainly hasn't exploded, but if you're willing to load up and sit, this is a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And it's done some crazy moves in the past. It's done some crazy moves. We're going from 44 Satoshi to, even if we go halfway and we're only up to 120 Satoshi, that's tripling your money. It's insane idea. If I could triple my money this year by purchasing in here and doing nothing else for the rest of the year, would you take that? Would you be interested in that opportunity? Most people in the cryptocurrency trading realm would say, triple my money. That's so little. Why would I why would I wait all that time? And then most people end up losing money in the bull market. And I did. I've lost money in the bull market. I've lost money in a bear market. And I used to trade more than one different account, and each account had its own trading style, its own rules. And I would trade this account by these rules and that account by those rules. And then I was comparing them over time to see which account did better and which one I liked trading better. And I found that the accounts that I did less in did better in their percentage gains. They had less fees, and I didn't even think about them. It was so much easier to trade them. And so I really started focusing on that because I made a $500,000 trading mistake in 2017. And for me, that is worth a lot of study. That's worth doing a lot of research to be sure that when that opportunity comes up again, I'm more prepared than I was in the past. And so I've put together this Patron Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, which covers everything on Binance and Poloniex. Everything from ADA all the way across to Dent and Fuel and Fun and IOTX and Link and Loom and Nano and ONG, ONT, Rex. You see it, Storm, Vet, OneCoin, Zill, all of them, everything, every single one of them, every day we track them all so that we know exactly what's going on with them. And then I know when the cryptocurrency bull market is here. I know it. I can see it. I see exactly which coins are here and which ones are not. Because at this time, let's go to Binance here. There were 79 coins. How many coins are there on Binance? There's 150 coins, but only this set of them were worth of being hold status coins. The other 50 were neutral, and another 50 were in alert status but not ready to trade. And then we had another handful of 10 and 12 that were failing coins. So for my own part, this data is worth tons. It's worth all of the future of what is really going on with the altcoin bull market. Not only is it a bull market, but which ones are the bull market. And right now we have 5 more spots left open in our Patron Bull Market Watch sponsorship area. $15 a month. And when those 5 spots are sold, there'll be no more at $15 a month. If someone from the $15 a month tier unsubscribes, there'll be 1 spot left open. And we only have membership drives the last few days of the month. So November the 1st, membership closes, and there'll be no more openings until the end of November. So if you think there might be something doing in altcoins between now and the beginning of the next month, this is the time to go and check out our Patron Bull Market Watch. Head over to the website, check on the links, and get details. Hey, Smoking Altcoins, thank you very much. Now, let's go over to IOST. I'm off track. I should have done that a little bit later. VET, IOST. Probably near the L's. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got to filter it. IOST. Ooh, look at that. Okay, somebody brought this up for us the other day, and we said this is a pre-pump candle, sometimes called a popcorn move, and that it has come back and given us a consolidation pattern before taking off is very, very generous. I would imagine that this train station is also a very good place to get onto this train, as long as you start off small. This would have been a better train station because we've got the notice. It gave us notice. Bong, that hit of the gong sound, and then it's sitting back and giving us lots of time to get on this train. I believe this one is going to be going as well. And I love going through these charts every single day to look for these kind of formations as they're setting up. This beautiful 1, 2, 3 formation in a condensing wedge out of the change of direction of the entire market trend. So this is what we're looking for in a large cup with handle formation. So here, grab this again. This is our cup. Not really, but this is the handle and the consolidation. So the handle and the consolidation is often a very, very good place to be getting in. So especially if Bitcoin dominance is starting to drop off from here, all of these altcoin formations are just absolute gold, gold, gold. Money in your pocket. So long as you can sit on that money, get into a position and sit. My recommendation, if I would have told you to get out of your IOTA, bring the chart back so I can get some data. All right, it's a top formation here. We got the exponential moving average crossover. Get out. Shift, click. Try this again. Shift, click. Not only would it have saved you 400 days of frustration, it would have saved 90% of your money. And there was nothing to do for that entire year. There was only a couple times to pay attention. Right in here, pay attention and get back out. Nothing else to do. Here was another 1, 2, 3 formation that said pay attention. Oh no, get back out. And that's the bonus of our bull market watch spreadsheet, is that we see when to get in and when to get out. It goes into the color coding for us to say it's green, then it says get out, and it stays gray all the way through this time. It'll turn yellow, green, back to gray. And it tells us we don't have to think about it. We don't have to wonder and worry. And now that we have so much back testing to show us that it's actually working and how long it takes, we should be ready to anticipate that same type of length of time in the other direction. Probably, what is this? That was 400 and some odd days. So that's a year and a half. That's what I'm thinking, is a year and a half. And that we're going to have wave up and pull back, wave up and pull back, all the way along that next year and a half. So really, to get into a small position on this and just sit. Phenomenal stuff. MBABS, IOST, that was a good one to bring up. Oh, look at the volume in that too. Let's go to the volume. IOST. Filter to Bitcoin. Get rid of my favorites. Scroll down 3 scrolls and we are at IOST. Wow. But wow, it's big selling volume. It looks like selling volume just because of where the candles closed. I'm not buying it that's selling volume. Right? If we go out to a different time where the candles close at a different time, then this is a really big amount of buying volume that we haven't seen. Well, we did see earlier on these pumps as it was coming up. So on these pullbacks now, this would be a really good time to start zooming in on some of our other indicators, because this is giving us the consolidation, right? The consolidation and the tiny little 1, 2, 3 setting up right now. So that's the 15-minute time frame. Let's go into the 15-minute time frame with relative strength index. All right, so here again is, tell me what I should call this. The bamboo, I don't know. I don't even get 2 words to put together, but as this is making, the RSI is making that trend and it breaks, right? As soon as that trend breaks, we're getting the whoosh up again. So now in the 15-minute time frame, this is more clear that as this is pulling back and the RSI is right back to this beautiful level where it's ready to just go again. So as soon as it's breaking these levels, we're getting really good confirmation. Love it that it's doing all the way up like this. Beautiful. I'm glad you brought this up. So anyone else that's on the stream, let me know what's another coin that you've seen starting to do some big takeoff. This is a mutual benefit for everybody on the stream. So let's set it up. Let's all make benefit out of this. IOST. HIOST. Right. So I want to get in to the 4 hour. Not the 4 hour. This is not. It's easy to point to the place where you could have bought in this after the fact, but it's not clean to me. This isn't. That's a knife catching as it's coming down and catching it because it's gone down that much. It goes against my grain because who knows how much further it could go down. I love the retest, and when I'm trying to get the retest coordinate with something to go along with the Bollinger Bands. And this could have, that you can, but I don't want to sit and watch for this kind of short time frame move to be setting up. I do want to get into the longer time frames. And this one would have escaped me. I think maybe now, if my poor memory serves me correctly, somebody was asking about this right at this moment. And I said, well, no, I can't trade it because it's got 3 lower lows. And of course, that moment would have been the perfect time to buy. So a different trading system would have picked that up, but mine actually tries to protect me against these as a fake out breakout because they happen so often. It tries to protect me from that so that I'm only getting in when the real trend has changed. That's why this bull market watch spreadsheet is so important to me, is because it tells me exactly which ones and exactly how much. Oh, look at that. We just saw a little, like a firefly flicker there. What's Bitcoin dominance doing? Are you coming down? This is the 4-hour chart. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the 30-minute on that. Let it load up. Bamboo, the rubber band, the elastic band effect. The rubber band, the RSI rubber band. Let me go over to Binance right now. One thing I don't have in the stream along the bottom. Oh, I see Bitcoin's taking some moves down there, and we got some liquidated longs coming through. Just over on the corner side here, this red is a liquidated long getting munched up. Let's go and see Bitcoin price on the 1-minute view. Liquidated longs. So that's got to be the 125 times leverage trade from Binance now, that new super high leverage trade. How do you liquidate a long in that much period of time? That's tough trading. That's just pure gambling. And what would have told us not to buy on this strength, as this strength was coming out? What would have said to us that not yet? We shouldn't quite be buying yet. Of course, the RSI is way overbought as we're coming up to this top. Even though it's a 1, 2, 3, we're not getting confirmation of a proper divergence out of this. Right? I want to see the RSI rubber band, the RSI elastic band effect. I want to see that building up here as we're coming out to the breakout, not coming to the top and easing off. And the 5-minute bar is killer for my own part. I try to stay away from only just when I recognize a trade on the 12-hour time frame, then I'm zooming in to just the right moment. But I don't try to trade that. Try to stay away from it. I get chewed up too much. Let me go back here. Digibyte. When Digibyte? Didn't the Digibyte aficionados tell us Digibyte would rule the world and take over because it was a better, stronger, faster coin? I was certain. And Doge, this was supposed to be the Lambo coin for everybody. Now Doge, don't sniff at this. This is making a 1, 2, 3 formation, and I think it's going to go to 300 Satoshi over time. Just because it is a replica of Bitcoin and Litecoin, it will go through its own halvening sequence. Digibyte, well, it could be doing something. I guess I would have to now say that it is really oversold, first of all, on the 12-hour time frame. So we could have our RSI elastic band setting up right here. But first I got to see a tiny little 1, 2, 3 formation. And now, of course, because I've become Bollinger Bandified, I want to check out the Bollinger Bands. Oh yeah. Look at just like a winter sliding going on here. Woohoo! And now it's skidding along the bottom. Where do I make my decision? That's the 12 hour. So I'm zooming in the 4 hour just to see where it is. It is touching along the very bottom of the band, and the band is getting tighter. Going to the 1 hour time frame. There's no bottom formation on this. It's a narrow, tight band, but it's trending. It's not gone flat. So I'm trying to pull something out of this, and it's nothing more than a swing trade just because it's down to those levels. And while that isn't bad, I want it to mature a little bit. If it is going to go up from here, then it will mature, and I can wait for it, right? If this was an apple that was not ripe, I would be able to wait for it. I wouldn't look at the tree thinking, well, that apple's not going to ripen, and pluck it right now just to be sure I have it. I will leave it and let it ripen because I trust the natural laws of nature. And it's the same thing with this. Over time, you start to get more patient with these formations, and you don't FOMO as much. And that's the theory. I'm sticking to it. Did I check the chart for Link yet? I haven't checked the chart for Link. Let me dig into that. And then we'll go over XRP. I think we did XRP. We did XRP, but we'll go back over it. Let's go over to Binance. Go just to click on LTC so it lets me find Link easier. Well, the bands are getting wider as we're sitting at these levels on both sides in the 12 hour, and I don't know what that means. I'm just observing it. It's not getting closer to the band. Go into the 4 hour time frame. That's a very narrow band. It's giving us the potential better than what we were just looking at. Because now it has the digibyte. It's got 3 hits off this level, very important technical levels. And I know that when we pull back, it's more important technical levels all the way further back. So now that I see it making a 1, 2, 3, and we're sitting close to the Bollinger Bands, not yet crossed the midline, it sort of lets me tighten up on my buy signal. Maybe I don't have to wait for it to break out of the 1, 2, 3, but I can, knowing that the Bollinger Band is doing this, maybe I can tighten up my buy signal and get in a little sooner, which would be some great percentages. Now here's our little 1, 2, 3. We're above the midline. I guess I would like this to be pressing against the top while the 4 hour is breaking across the midline. And then it's just giving me a little bit of an edge sooner to get in, though maybe, of course, this would be the better moment to have gotten in. I'm trying to bake this together into my own plan that melds together with what I'm already doing that works for me, and tune it, tune it a bit. Ripple swell incoming, might pump then. Let me go to the 2 more indicators for Link. First of all, I want to go to Litecoin, filter, get rid of my favorites, scroll, Link. Okay, this is what I was looking to see, actually, is the cross to the positive, a cross to the positive, and another, and they're all higher than earlier. While we're coming across, that's the kind of divergence I want to see when the 1, 2, 3 is building up. We've got the Bollinger Band actually giving us some juice at this moment as well. I'll watch for this to cross to the negative. If it does, as we're weakening off, that kicks a hole in the boat, and we're probably sinking. And it'll probably sink sharp and fast. If Bitcoin is going to go parabolic, this might. We saw what happened on Friday when Bitcoin gave us a little bit of a move there. Everything else took a little bit of a dive from that. So we'll watch to see what's occurring in this. Now, the last thing I want to look at for Link is the relative strength index. Link relative strength index. Okay, maybe we're getting our RSI bamboo set up, our RSI springboard, our RSI elastic band setting up right at these levels. That is giving us what we're looking for. Let's zoom into the 4 hour time frame on that, because it's looking pretty good, right? These are higher setup. Should that continue breaking up out of this wedge, while we're up out of this wedge, all of these things are matching together now. We've got the Bollinger Band saying yes. We've got the MACD saying yes on a positive. We've got the RSI giving us a very specific place to be taking action. And so now this is actually tuning in my buy signal so that I'm I wouldn't be waiting until the 1, 2, 3 breakout. And you know, the 1, 2, 3 breakout, and every robot knows it too. So lots of people get excited and buy into it, and a lot of bots know to be selling at the top of those. But of course, natural market movement will make it test these levels and continue on. So the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout has this risk of buying in here or buying a little bit late or buying in a little bit afterwards. So there's a few different entries on that are more sketchy and kind of out there floating if land than we have if we're putting this together with all of the indicators and the Bollinger Bands to seal the deal. So I'm actually kind of liking this tune-up that we've been going through here for the last couple weeks. I like it. And I don't care how long it takes, because I think it's unlimited trading income opportunities. I've made a killing in trading, and I know that by doing this and learning it and doing it and learning it and being prepared for the right moment, there is much, much more to be made. And there's no limit to just me making it. I'm not the guru. You guys have every capacity to do this as well. This trading system is learnable. You can repeat it. I can teach it to you. You can teach it to somebody else. That somebody else can come and talk to me, and they will tell me the same trading strategy. We all three will look at a chart independently and come up with the same analysis. Now we know we're getting into something scientific, and we're not getting into something hocus pocus that when you have 3 different specialist analysts look at the same chart, they come up with different analysis. So I don't get those kind of trading things. It's got to be more clear, more explainable, more methodical. And then it's just a matter of practicing it. There's nothing hidden in being a pilot of an airplane, but it takes a lot of practice so that you are not going to crash the plane when you are landing it. It's the same thing with trading. We have to know all of the rules, all of the flutter of everything we have to do with the controls, and then we have to practice. The trouble with practicing the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation in the long-term trend is that it takes sometimes years between a bottom formation and the next bottom formation. So it may take you 5 years to get 3 market cycles in to practice it enough to really get the perspective on it, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But now you have the lucky opportunity, and the rest of us have this lucky opportunity right now to be at that stage of that big, massive bottom formation. This is the time to be preparing for it, not just in Bitcoin, but you should also be aware of what's going on in gold and silver. You should take your education in reading these charts and diversify so that you don't put everything into crypto. Because there are 1, 2, 3 bottoms shaping up in silver and gold. Not so much in gold now. Platinum, an amazing formation. All of these different markets will follow the same rules. All of the same 1, 2, 3 bottom formation works in everything that you trade. You could trade avocados, and you would be able to trade the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation out of the chart prices of avocados. It doesn't matter what it is. Ba-dum-bum. So Smoke and Altcoins puts up I appreciate that you've put up the coupon code for Minnow to save 20% off the Pro Alerts. You can also save 20% off of the the Patron Bull Market Watch spreadsheet as well. Head over to introdocryptos.ca, scroll to the bottom, and the membership options are there for you. The membership options are here to help you with stage 1 of the trade, the real work of identifying all the markets that you should be trading, identifying the entries, the exits, the stop losses, and giving all of that work to you. That's what our paid memberships are for. It's not some hocus pocus guru telling you that which ones to buy and which ones to sell. It's really being specific with our trading plan and then taking care of the whole bunch of the work for you that is required if you're going to do this kind of trading plan. So I hope that we get tons of more people. Head over there, check it all out. We've got that Patron special the next couple days. You can lock in a $15 a month access to that Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, which is crazy. 50 cents a day to have somebody go over 200 markets for you. Nothing like it. Pardon me. Ken, I appreciate you guys being here. I love doing this stuff. No matter if I'm a small channel forever, I will continue doing it for very selfish reasons because it really helps my own trading. And if this helps one person, if there are 5 people watching and it helps you change the way you think and feel about money, if it helps you change the way you're organizing money, this is a life-changing skill. And we don't get taught this in school. We don't get taught from grade 5 how to read a chart. How crazy is that? I don't get it. We don't get taught how to balance our checkbooks. We don't get taught how to do a personal budget. What we do is we're left to the sales pitch of the banks that tell us to get a credit card, get a secure job, show us that you have a paycheck, we'll give you a car loan, and after you've done that for a few years, we can have a house loan, and we own you. We absolutely own you. You can't leave your job. You've got all these payments. Sure, you've got all the stuff, but man, the debt world just absolutely owns you. And so even if you are in debt, it's really important to have money working for you while you are working for money. Now you have 2 ways of making money working for you. Trading can make a ton of money, but it's also super risky. So it's like flying a plane when you haven't practiced it properly. It really could take you somewhere fast, but if you don't land properly, what's the point, right? It's the same thing with trading cryptocurrencies. If you're going to lose your money, what's the point? So take the time, gather the knowledge, join our training, support the channel, but get that knowledge and that help for your own trading. I'm passionate about it. I hope I make a difference in the lives of thousands of more people. I hope that the books that I'm working on right now actually help people that are not yet born. I'm dead and gone, buried. I am dust, but my ideas and the way I've organized this lives on, and it helps more people even after I've passed on. So it's sort of my long-term goal. And even if these streams take a long time for me to get super good at it and grow it to a massive following, that's okay. I'll work at it. I'll keep at it. Boom, boom. TV. I got TV watching me. You never. Anyway. Bad sense of humor. Let's go look at BQX. BQX. I also wanted to bring up Binance, go view more market. Wow. So BQX has been squished as much as BQX can be squished, I would have to say. And yet it never did come onto our trading holds or our alerts at all. There are, where's my square? There are a group of coins that almost everything made a consolidation here in August. Then there were a group of coins, and I call them the low group. This is the group of coins that went lower from this consolidation. Then there were a group of coins that went higher from this consolidation. It was like there was a splitting point right there. And it's amazing that like most everything was following along the same consolidation. And then some went south and some went north right from there. And so right from these 1, 2, 3 bottoms here at the very beginning of September, we were calling these 1, 2, 3 bottoms, made some videos about it, talking about this is the weekend we're all going to look back to and wish it would have taken action on. And a whole bunch of them went up. We made some great gains on all of those markets, and we never touched any of these because they're just going down yet. So I don't know anything about the technology in this, but I would say just from the price of it, that the market isn't too excited about it yet. I was just about to say, and it kind of trailed off as I'm saying it because of the volume coming in here in the background. That volume is quite a bit different than what we saw all the way along. So when the nature of the buying changes like that, then I want to start watching for the 1, 2, 3 because somebody else has already started accumulating this and not on a casual basis, right? They're continually buying. They've got an employee who they said, we want you to buy, I don't know, $10,000 worth of this stuff every day and watch the order books so that you can get it at the best price every day. Just keep buying $10,000 worth of it a day. Okay, boss. And so then he sits there for 8 hours, buying a little bit, buying a little bit, buying a little bit. Doesn't care what the price is. He still gets his paycheck. He's not losing money. And his boss doesn't care either because he's got a big long-term plan for this stuff. This is extra money. It's not money that he needs to pay rent or groceries with. It's extra money. It's just sitting there. And no matter how much money we have to have that extra money sitting here working for us. I don't care if it's $15, $20. Do it. Practice that. Lose that $20 practicing this stuff. It's life-changing skill, and you know it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be putting the time into all of these videos. You wouldn't be a believer like me. Let's go with Binance. I'm scrolling down now to see what's going on with Wabi. And I'm cheating because I looked over at Binance to see what was actually moving now. And you can hear the smile on my face, I imagine. And I hope that you are also saying the same words I am saying in my head. I can see the 1, 2, 3, the little wee 1, 2, 3 bottom here. Sure. A bigger double top here. It's pulled back. So now we've got a 1 and we've got a 2. Then we've got a 3. It's come back to. And then it's gone sideways, a whole bunch of nothing to do. Now finally it's poked its head up above the water enough that it's turned into an alert in our spreadsheet, no doubt. Let me drag it over there and go and see. Binance. Actually, it's on the cover page. So we have 13 alerts in Binance. Wabi is not yet an alert. So that was done at about 12 hours ago that we looked at Wabi in this spreadsheet. And of course, 12 hours ago, prices were down a bit. So now this has jumped up to what would be the equivalent of an alert status. So even though it's only updated once a day in the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, you get the training to go along with it so that the spreadsheet is like a crutch to help you along. It's like training wheels to help you. But this is the trading plan. This is the downtrend. This is the 1, 2, 3 bottom, the exponential moving average crossover, and it's breaking out right now. Coincidentally, let's go and take a look at the most dangerous time to get into a trade. If we were to go and look at Wabi and pull this all the way back down, Wabi. The most dangerous time to get into a trade is when it is pushing up against the top of the Bollinger Bands. And so you've got one playing against the other. The Bollinger Bands here are looking like it's setting up to be a sell signal. Right? This was a sell signal right up against the edge of the Bollinger Bands as it was breaking out higher. And yet it is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation buy-in point. So you've got a natural pool of people who are selling because it's the Bollinger Band top level. And you have a natural pool of people who are buying. This is why on the breakout, sometimes it's better to wait for the consolidation and strength afterwards to actually do your buying so that you're not getting screwed around, whipsawed in these fights between the bots and the different trading styles. And you wait for the actual change of direction. And then you get in. Different philosophy, different approaches. So Wabi is awesome. BQX123. A good heart is worth more than all the money in the world. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because with that good heart, you can go out and make all the money in the world. Money is attracted to vibration. It's attracted to a state of being. Let's go into ONT and then I'll go back to BQX. Wow. ONT, I know, broke out the other day. We got into this trade. It was one of our alerts because it's making a potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So it's consolidated back a little bit. And you want to see the MACD on ONT? O-L-M-N-O-P? O-N-T. Wow, look at that. So it's crossing to the positive and taking off. So this is another example. What was the other thing we looked at? That it did a big run up, pulled itself back, gave us the consolidation, and also positive confirmation. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I love it so much. I'm so excited about this season. Except Bitcoin dominance is going the wrong color candle here. Come on now. This is supposed to be dropping as Bitcoin rises. That would be the best. Okay, now let's go back to BQX, and we're pretty much wrapping her up here. What time do we have? 4:08. Back down to BQX and look for the 1, 2, 3. BQX. You know, 1, 2, 3 works in any time frame. And so if you're zooming into the very close time frame, it's kind of getting there. This would be the number 1 point because it's the lowest low in the downtrend. That's what the number 1 point is. And then, where's my zoom? We actually have a 1, 2, 3 right here. Done. Prices came up, fought along, came back and touched against it. And now we have strength off of that. Done. There's our second buy signal. And you could have gotten your stop loss above your entry. Done. Then your work is finished. You got your stop loss above your entry. There's nothing else for you to do. And, oh, maybe your stop got touched out there. That was some stop hunting going on. Maybe your stop got topped out there. So now we have a 1. We could call this the number 2 way up at the top of this wick. But for these, I just sort of ignore that wick. And I would call this the 1. And this, the whole thing would be the number 2. And this whole range would be the number 3 right now. So I'd have to wait for it to break above these ranges for me to do anything with it. And maybe I could go into the Bollinger Bands and start to see where I might be able to sink into a position earlier than the 1, 2, 3 breakout. Maybe on that pullback where it consolidates. That the Bollinger Bands might be telling me something, but I'm still not happy with it on the 15-minute time frame. I'm still going to sit back and wait on this. I'm going to let it mature. So if I'm bag holding some of this stuff, then okay, whatever. I just ignore it. Now, this is the place where I want to be buying it. So I don't want to be selling it. If I've been bag holding all the way along and now I get sick of it and sell it, never mind. Just leave it. Depends on how much you have, of course. But for my own part, all the bags that I'm holding, I'm just holding them. I think we're down through the worst of it, and to sell out now would be probably just panic oriented. And I've done that twice in the past where I panic sold my entire portfolio and 2 days later had to buy it back for less. So I try not to do that. I try to use the exponential moving average crossovers, and I've been doing very much better this time around. Where'd that go? As the bull market watch has been pulling back and we've been getting all of those exit orders, I've been doing much better at just pulling out of my positions. So as we've come along here, we can see we're getting into positions here. What's the date? There we go. The 9th, 10th, 15th, 18th of September. Now we're starting to pick up in the number of alert status coins. They're all moving over into hold status. So right in here, we're like this day, we are 16 different coins to be buying. Then there's another bunch of coins to buy the next day, some more to buy the next day, another one. Now we're just sort of coasting along. Then on this day, there was a bunch that we had to step back out of. They crossed over on the 4-hour EMAs. Some of them never came back. They stayed below the 4-hour EMA all the way since then. They were good to get into and test them out, but they were sure good to get out of. That's the most important thing. Here we are at 79 coins that were in hold status, and then we start to scale out. Many of these at profit. As we are selling out, we are already at profit, reducing positions. So now we're just watching for these neutrals to pick themselves back up into alert status and move themselves over into hold status. And like an accordion, we'll just buy the ones that are going and sell out of them as they come. It's been phenomenal and so much easier. Loving it. So head over to the website if you haven't already. And I do think that there is a link to our Discord chat just down below. If I don't see that, be sure to come over and join us on our Discord chat, because we talk about cryptocurrencies for the rest of the day outside of what we're doing here. So here we go over the big 7 coins and a few other details. Over on the Discord chat, we keep talking about those coins as the night goes along, as the day goes along. And we also bring up any of the other coins and talk about them as well. Would be great to have you along. I appreciate you guys watching. There are so many other great channels out there. I am honored to have you along. And look forward to seeing you on the next live stream. Let me now fade off the microphone and I will say goodbye.